someone else and knowing when to be quiet and allow them to jump in is a skill.
Well, yeah, and like how often does Cardi talk to someone more famous than her? Not often. That's a big deal.
So Michael Che from Saturday Night Live went on Instagram to say that he says, it's crazy to me that the residents of public housing are still expected to pay the rent when so many New Yorkers can't even work. Obviously, I can't offer much help by myself. He's like, but in the spirit and memory of my late grandmother who passed away, I'm
like
paying,
last week, I think.
Yeah, I'm
Really?
paying one. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm paying
my.
1 month's rent for all 160 apartments in the NYCHA building that she lived in. I know it's just a drop in the bucket, so I really hope the city has a better plan for debt forgiveness for all the people in public housing at the very least. And then he says, P.S. De Blasio, Cuomo, Diddy, let's fix this. Page me.
Diddy's probably like, how'd you call me into this? That's great, though, man. That's a really nice gesture by Che. He mentioned on the show that his grandmother had passed away. He actually turned it into a pretty funny joke.
Had she been sick already, or this is COVID related? We don't know.
No, it was COVID related.
Oh, it was?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
She recently died due to complications from COVID-19.
Wow, I missed that. Yo, man.
A lot of people losing
Sending
loved
blessings
ones.
out here, man. That's tough.
That's your flashing lights report. The time is 8 a.m. Alternate side parking rules are in effect, and today will be a high of 49 degrees.
Now, Michael Chase said the expectation is that people are still going to be able to pay their rent. I thought rent was suspended especially if you're in city or state housing or whatever, federal subsidized housing.
No, I don't think rent is suspended.
Evictions are suspended, maybe.
Yes, only evictions, Ebro.
So they can't evict you.
Right, but you're still expected to pay, and if you don't, it's still going to be money you owe.
And they'll just tack it on to another.
Yep.
You'll still owe it later.
So you might not have to pay now, but you're going to have to pay for it eventually.
Right.
And how are they going to pay for it eventually?
If they're not going to work, that's going to be a tough part.
And even if you go to work, if you live in low income housing, how much money are you making at work that you're going to be able to play catch up once you start working again to pay back rent?
Yeah, facts. Yeah. Look, coming up, if you want to get paid, 8:25 right before the guru, we will get somebody laced up with a $half a grand helping hand. Make sure you lock in at that time. It's Ebro in the morning. It's Laura Styles. It's Rosenberg.
WQHT and WQHT HD1 New York. Ebro in the morning with Laura Stiles and Rosenberg.
Hot 97.
Coming up, if you missed Barack Obama endorsing president or future president Joe Biden, we'll run back some of that audio. I guess I also want to take your calls. I guess it's time for us to start seeing who is going to vote for Joe Biden.
I am.
It's about that time. It's about that time for us to hear from people who are still convinced Donald Trump's a better option.
Really?
Hey, you guys don't want to do this today?
You want to open up the Donald Trump hotline? It's been a long time.
Yeah,
let's do it, man.
I
love opening the Donald Trump hotline. And most people don't know how to dial their phones, but the ones who do.
Come on, don't disrespect.
Sorry.
Come on, son. I really, because it dawned on me. We was talking about Kanye West and what article was it? Laura Styles.
GQ.
Where he said he's going to vote now. He didn't vote last time, but he's voting for Donald Trump, he said. That's what he said. People really want to tear this whole thing down. People really want to tear this whole thing apart.
The next time, the conversation on Kanye is going to change to the point where people go, you ain't got no Yeezy in your Serato? And the end, like, nope. And you're just going to stare at them blankly, and the party's going to stop.
It's Hot 97, Ebro in the morning. Yo, we live on YouTube live right now, too. If y'all want to lock
YouTube.
in. Hot 97 YouTube or youtube.com/Hot97, something like that. I don't know.
Never need a chick, I'm what a chick need. Trying to find the one that can fix me. I've been dodging death in the 6 speed. Amphetamine got my stomach feeling sickly. I want it all now. I've been running through these girls, I need a dog pound. 100 models getting faded in a compound. Trying to love me, but they never get a pulse down. Cause I'm heartless, and I'm bad to my ways, cause I'm heartless. All this money and this pain got me heartless. More life, cause I'm heartless. I'm heartless, trying to be a better man, but I'm heartless. Never be a
Hey there.
I'm hearing your mic not super duper clear. I don't know. I'm gonna keep just paying attention.
Loud, but I need more words than clear. Give me like some more adjectives.
It's loud.
It's loud.
It's on the level.
He sounds good to me.
The clarity. It's just. I mean, I'm just.
The clarity's not.
Ebro said it sounds good too. He thought it was Juanito's mic that was interfering with yours, or maybe I was getting confused. But Juanito wasn't on that last break, and I still kind of heard it.
I can take off my muffle thing.
That could help.
But like yesterday, he told me it was all mids. Today, I'm using this mic, and Pio's now giving me much information. He's like, yeah, it sounds okay. I'm like, I'm trying to make this work, man.
Yeah,
Right.
I think with that mic, it's only going to be as unless you go and get, like I do when I travel now, I have that Sennheiser.
But
No.
still, but Laura's on the same mic, and they're saying Laura sounds good. Laura and I have the same thing.
Yeah, we have the same.
Everything's the
microphone.
same. So that's why I'm wondering, is it the thing that I'm connected to? Like, is there something wrong with MCMR2? Do I need to be connecting another way?
Well, I think you have more bass in your voice than Laura. There's that part.
Thanks. I'd like to make it sound good, but
Also, let me see. I'm paying attention to
All
how
right.
Laura is holding her mic and you are holding your mic. Like when Laura's talking, look at the distance on her right now.
yeah. But so you think I'm better off with more
Shawnee
space?
Cass is trying to get your attention.
Yeah, I got her. Thank you.
Keisha wants to play Ride or Die. Keisha, where you from?
Trying to be take out the right of that.
Long Branch.
Okay, Long Branch.
Sorry.
This is annoying. Anyways,
Don't forget, we're live
You
on
sound
YouTube.
good.
I don't want to be good. I want to be great, Johnny. I want to be
got
great.
you. I'm with you.
Good is the enemy of great.
That's a fact.
Man, yesterday was a sad day at WWE yesterday.
Yeah, I saw you
What
in
happened?
real life cash. People got fired out here.
Tons.
I mean, why is that sad though?
Sorry?
Well, people
Why is
lost their
that sad,
jobs,
though?
bro. What the hell?
Why is that sad? Over 100 people got canned.
But I mean, they're done, donezo.
Yeah, I don't understand what you're saying. You're not using English.
No, you understand what I'm saying. I'm saying they didn't get furloughed, they got donezoed.
Yeah,
Yes, they lost their jobs, bro.
but they weren't being punished because they were bad.
Yeah, but I mean,
They were being
everybody's
let go
losing their
because-
jobs right now. It's bad for
Yeah, but
everybody.
it's still sad, Ebro. What the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah, but these are people I know. Whenever you have someone attached to it, as opposed to hearing it's a random.
Mad people at
number.
iHeart lost their jobs.
Do I know them?
I don't know. I know mad people at iHeart. And I was like, look,
It's
you
still
know,
sad.
I didn't see a list of their names though. I'm sure that would make me
we
sad
might
too.
lose our jobs.
That will make me very sad. I don't
I
understand
would
what you're
It'd be
saying.
understand
very
that.
sad.
I would understand that.
See, this is what is Ebro playing devil's advocate.
All right,
to
bye,
something
Ebro.
sad. It's sad. 100+ people. There were people.
How
who
many
worked-
people work at the company?
I feel like 600, something like that.
So that's a significant number.
700. I don't know. I'm making that up though. It's a significant number no matter how you cut it.
It's not like 5,000 people though
That work there?
that work at
No.
WWE.
No,
No.
it's not thousands. But there are wrestlers who lost their jobs, for example, who had been there for 14 years. These two guys who are from Long Island, who were always sort of like, they were never the biggest stars.
Right.
They were always
BC level.
They were BC level their whole career, but they made it to winning the tag titles. They won the
Oh,
IC
nice.
title once. They did all this stuff.
So they had a good run.
A great run, but it's still like
Yeah, it's tough.
they should have been safe. They've always been safe. Like they do their job,
And so these people are getting cut because basically
They took a huge bath on WrestleMania. I think the number they lost was like $18 million in one day. And then overall, if you kind of read between the lines, this isn't based on information I have, but if you read between the lines on who they let go, you can tell that they're letting go of people who are not so much an active part of TV, but more an active part of live shows. And
right, because they can't do live.
And when are the live shows going to exist?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully
So-
it comes back and they get their gigs back.
But you have no idea. We have no idea what live events are going to be gone forever now in general. Like what businesses are going to change
Cass.
permanently and never bounce back in the same way.
Hold on.
Well, I think live
39797 or email us at hot97rideordie@gmail.com.
I don't know how safe people feel around the disease.
But
You know what
like,
I'm saying?
yeah, I guess there are things though that could be gone for a while. And then when it becomes okay to bring them back, you're like, well, our business model's changed now. We realize that that's not a.
Yo, I can't hear this J.I. the Prince and not go, yo, can y'all play that Maya Hove real quick, though? Like, I like this. It's cute. And I'm happy for him.
Hey, what's up, everybody on YouTube? Hi, guys. Yo, they're shouting you out, Shawnee.
Word, what they saying?
Yo, did you get Polo's info?
Shawnee.
He's calling back again.
Hey, yo, big up YouTube people. YouTube world to blood clots.
YouTube people down.
Your YouTube people down.
What country are you from, Sean?
I'm from
the language you're speaking.
Hey,
oh, this is Jamaica. Big up all
Jamaica.
Jamaica yard people. We're matching people.
Hi, vocal star.
Scene. Yo, I have a question about scene. Is it scene like I saw
By the
you
way,
already
Mr.
past
Munoz,
tense, or is it
I'm
scene
really
like
into All
movie,
American.
like scene?
Thank you. If you're one of the ones who
in Jamaica, it's
like
seen like SEEN.
Like I saw you already. Seen.
Like
you have been seen.
Like you see what I'm saying?
I've seen it. I've seen it.
Yazir Khalid said Shawnee is the realest. Wagwan.
Wagwan.
The realest what? The realest what? The realest
Yeah.
Jamaican? Wrong.
No.
Someone said, Shawnee, you're not Jamaican. You're Trini.
That's true. So now in Trinidad,
I didn't ask about Trinidad.
In Trinidad, seen me.
You always, for YouTube, for the people on
Hey,
YouTube,
Tom.
Shawnee would rather be Jamaican.
That's not
Shamari has an important question.
Chinny people all day, but big up Jamaica.
Shamari wants to know.
Doubles.
Shamari wants to know what time I thought about Brooklyn Zoo this morning. Good question. First thing, 6:25, baby. I woke up and I was like, shit.
Brooklyn
Zoo.
Y'all bust that ass right now.
It's Brooklyn Zoo versus Come Clean. That just it's hard, yo.
There was a gap there, Shawnee, from a lot of people who don't understand Come Clean's impact at the time.
Yeah, Come Clean.
You had to live Come Clean.
You had to live it a little bit. Brooklyn Zoo lasted longer.
Yeah,
but Come Clean in the moment, the way it came out of
and
nowhere.
And on top of that, he was dissing all the shiny suit rappers.
Right.
And everybody that was fronting like they was actually in these streets busting guns.
England.
He was like, you wouldn't come to the jungles of the East popping that yang.
Trenton, New Jersey.
You know what I'm saying?
That's facts.
And simultaneously being like, yo, I don't even bust my gun like that. It's mental.
I
let my mind
bang
spray.
or shoot out bang bang.
Leave your nines at home and bring your skills to the battle.
You're rattling on and on
and ain't saying nothing.
Someone said Puerto Rican Rick, say something.
Yeah.
Puerto Rican Rick.
Puerto Rican Rick is silent as a church
that's
mouse.
because fucking Puerto Rican Rick ain't got nothing to say. Ever.
Oh, God.
Oh,
bad guy.
That's what we got.
I let my mind spray.
Thanks, Albert.
Here we go. Yeah, Shawnee, let that ring.
On the volume.
Let it ring.
Hey.
Started out as a super indie version of it too.
What? If you're feeling lucky, duck, then press your luck. Make up.
By the way, Ebro, another thing that's part of the folklore,
Shawnee.
part of the folklore of
Morning,
Come
Dominique.
Clean is that half the people edit the beginning and it's not an F word.
No, it's not.
It's you want to front, but a lot of people edit it.
You want to fuck?
Yeah,
What?
People say you want to
Say that?
You want to fuck?
Jay,
What?
Say this.
You want to buck?
As you should, Cast One. That's right. Yo, shout out to the little homie J.I. the Prince. We are proud of you. Young kid out of Brooklyn.
Yeah.
J.I. the Prince of New York. He got a hit song ringing off. But every time I hear it for the old heads, you got to play that Maya Hove right after that. Has to happen.
Must. That's it.
Yo, Shawnee, we need to get the Obama endorsing Biden from the other day that we didn't play. I want to get to those sound clips. Laura, have you seen O'Biden? That's basically
That's what's happening.
Joe O'Biden running for president. Joe Barack O'Biden for president 2020.
Yes, I did.
What did you get from Barack Obama talk?
Well, I didn't watch the whole thing. I just saw a clip. So I'm interested to hear. I mean, how long was this speech?
I mean, it was 12 minutes. Here's how he closed out.
Okay, there.
Hangs on this election, and it won't be easy. The other side has a massive war chest. The other side has a propaganda network with little regard for the
Shots
truth.
at Fox.
On the other hand, pandemics have a way of cutting through a lot of noise and spin to remind us of what is real. And what is important, this crisis has reminded us that government matters. It's reminded us that good government matters.
I don't know if it reminded
that
everybody.
facts and science matter, that the rule of law matters, that having leaders who are informed and honest and seek to bring people together rather than drive them apart, those kind of leaders matter. In other words, elections matter. Right now, we need Americans of goodwill to unite in a great awakening against a politics that too often has been characterized by corruption, carelessness, self-dealing, disinformation, ignorance, and just plain meanness. And to change that, we need Americans of all political stripes to get involved in our politics and our public life like never before. For those of us who believe in building a more just, more generous, more democratic America, where everybody has a fair shot at opportunity, for those of us who believe in a government that cares about the many and not just the few, for those of us who love this country and are willing to do our part to make sure it lives up to its highest ideals, now's the time to fight for what we believe in. So join us. Join Joe. Make a plan for how you are going to get involved. Keep taking care of yourself and your families and each other. Keep believing in the possibilities of a better world. And I will see you on the campaign trail as soon as I can.
Because I am not quite running for president, but Joe Biden is, but I'm going to be right there.
That is what it feels like. When he says join us, join Joe.
That's right.
I agree. That he definitely sounds like, and I wonder if he was always going to be that way.
Well,
or
now,
whether he's stepping up extra because literally the fate of the world is hanging in the balance.
Prior to the pandemic, the word was that Barack Obama was contacting every single candidate as they closed out their campaign to get them to line up behind Joe Biden. And Bernie Sanders himself said that he frequently talks to Barack Obama. And here's Barack Obama talking about Bernie Sanders.
Each of our candidates were talented and decent, with a track record of accomplishment, smart ideas, and serious visions for the future. And that's certainly true of the candidate who made it farther than any other, Bernie Sanders. Bernie's an American original, a man who has devoted his life to giving voice to working people's hopes, dreams, and frustrations. He and I haven't always agreed on everything, but we've always shared a conviction that we have to make America a fairer, more just, more equitable society. We both know that nothing is more powerful than millions of voices calling for change. And the ideas he's championed, the energy and enthusiasm he inspired, especially in young people, will be critical in moving America in a direction of progress and hope. Because for the second time in 12 years, we'll have the incredible task of rebuilding our economy. And to meet the moment, the Democratic Party will have to be bold.
Wow. Yo, for the second time in 12 years, that's him saying, yo, Democrats got to come back through and fix this thing again because they broke it again, getting paid. That's what people forget about the last time it was Republicans in charge. This whole damn thing fell apart a different way as far as the economy is concerned. Now, I'm about to take some calls, 800-223-9797. Joe Biden's currently on television right now with his wife, Dr. Jill Biden. The fact that he's married to a doctor makes him a better candidate than Donald Trump for me already.
Wait, Melania's not a doctor?
Hello, America. She's a doctor, all right. That's how she got married. She a doctor, that girl.
Oh, God.
Oh, really?
All right.
No, she's a head doctor.
Night nurse.
All right.
Night nurse.
No, that's not mature. Don't go full Snoop Dogg. Don't go full Snoop Dogg.
Yes,
All you have to do is
please.
make fun of.
I didn't say I was going to kidnap her and do her dirty on the block.
Gosh.
Hello, America. I want to talk to you about what is happening.
So yours is better?
Oh, yours is better.
What's wrong with you guys?
Really?
This pandemic is killing us all. Did you see her message the other day?
No, yes, it was terrible.
It's trying to make you feel better. Speaking as a full-blooded American who knows what it's like to grow up in this country.
No, that's xenophobic, what you're saying right there. Just
But
because she still has an accent, we shouldn't look at her like she's a Russian spy and we're watching some spy movie.
Wow. That's the thing. Of course, I would never think of someone who, I would never think of someone who has an accent as not being American. However, I would feel that way about someone who's married to the Russian bot king.
Guys.
Wow.
Now this guy, I'm gonna go to first. We want to know who you voting for. Are you voting for Biden? Or are you voting for Trump?
I don't know
What's
why
he
you
gonna
guys are
be? We're
doing
starting this early. Laura, you don't want to do it this early.
It annoys me, but whatever.
Tell us
Go ahead.
why. Why
Go
does it
ahead.
annoy? Tell us why.
Go
Why are you
ahead.
annoyed? You don't want to hear from the Trump supporters during a pandemic?
No, I don't.
You don't want to.
Killer.
You don't want to hear from the people who voted for a guy that
I'd
literally
rather
has
hear from
decimated
doctors
the
and
nation.
people on the front line. Gee.
You don't want to hear from Levi, who's voting for Trump right now, but it was a Hillary fan. He's been on hold for 12 minutes.
Oh yeah, I do.
Levi.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Good, man. You voting Trump?
I think I might. Yeah.
Tell us why. Tell us how Trump has convinced you to switch from being a Hillary supporter to being a Trump supporter.
Well, number one, I actually found out some of the truth, and there's a lot of rhetoric that's put out there that's not the truth, and a lot of people speak on words, and they're just words that he says. You got to look at what he's doing and what's going on. And when I see the policies that are being passed and I see the bills that are being signed, I really can't disagree. I mean, what I hear on the radio and television and media is a lot different than what I see him actually doing.
So give us an example of what he's actually done to change and affect your life.
Good question.
Okay, well, I'll give you a big one right here. First of all, look at the stimulus package, right? He pulled out $6 trillion for the stimulus package, right? Where do we get $6 trillion from? So technically, he's showing you that all this crap about budgets and we got to pay this back and how we're going to get is full of crap, okay? He just showed you that. So I don't see how
So
you
then
can call
why
the man
wouldn't
racist.
you, were you a Bernie Sanders? Nobody said he was racist today.
I'm just speaking on how everybody
Racist
about him,
I just said.
So
it.
would you, so were you a Andrew Yang supporter or a Bernie Sanders supporter?
No, I wasn't actually. I'm really not into politics, but the coronavirus has kind of dragged us all into it. So with that being
And you
said,
believe that the $6 trillion is coming from Trump? Like this is what he?
No. See, that's the thing right there. We're supposed to be on a budget. We're in way debt. Where did he get this from? The fact that he was able to pull this out.
He didn't pull it out. It wasn't even him.
No. I'm saying the fact that we could generate $6 trillion out of nowhere shows that everything everybody before him was saying is a lie.
Which is why I'm asking, and this is, I'm glad you're bringing this up.
I'm so
you would have
confused.
been an Andrew Yang or Bernie Sanders supporter because they were the ones that saying that every American, well, especially Andrew Yang, wanted to give every American over $18,000.
Well, I can't really speak on Bernie Sanders. The Democrats, it's not really that I'm such a Trump supporter. It's just that I'm totally fed up with these Democrats. We've been voting for 30, 40, 50, 60 years for these guys, and really nothing has really changed a lot.
No, 8 years ago there was a Republican president who ruined the economy also.
Okay, but for 30 years before that, what we've been voting for.
No, in the 80s, there was a Republican president. Are you talking about black people? When you say we, you mean black folks?
Yes, what we tend to vote for.
Got it.
And as far as that, I really don't see much of a change. And actually, some people can argue and say things have got worse. And then what I want to tell you is, if you look at closely about the Obama administration, he had 8 years. Chris Christie cleaned up that whole Sandy relief, and he's just the governor. He didn't do much.
Chris Christie did what?
Do something for New York.
Chris Christie did.
Sandy.
He did what?
Sandy thing. But listen, those are his.
Yo, man, I don't know where you're getting your info.
Levi, the one thing I want to ask you, the one thing I'm confused about, Levi, the one thing I'm confused about is that you just said Trump showed that all that money stuff is BS because he pulled out $6 trillion. If that's the case,
there is no budget.
Okay, so if that's so then real quick, if that's the case and the budget is no issue and Trump showed that, why did he have to cut so many programs, including ones that kept an eye on things like pandemics, which led us to where we are right now? Why did he have to cut that then?
Are you speaking on the programs that we run designed by Bill Gates?
No, we're talking about the Office of the Pandemic that was put in place by Barack Obama because of the Ebola.
But Trump cut that.
Well, if you're talking about today's pandemic, okay, I saw Anthony Fauci the other day say that, and they got him on record saying that, I think it was around February 29th when all this kind of started, that
it didn't start February 29th. It didn't start February 29th.
You don't quote me on the exact dates, but around when it started, he was saying we had no cases and we had no infections
because we didn't have testing at the time.
Yes, but let me tell you what it was he was saying that we shouldn't go over or get overwhelmed over this thing at that time. And Donald Trump wanted to put a ban on China before this.
You're repeating the Trump propaganda video. Ebro, we got to move on here.
I'm repeating the truth.
No, you're not. You're not repeating the truth. This is from the Trump propaganda video. It's not the truth.
I'm lying. I'm lying right now. He didn't want to put a wall up. He's going to put a ban on China.
No, he stopped travel from China. The problem was that 400,000 other people kept traveling around from China, and he couldn't stop it.
Well,
it
why
was
you
too late
him for that?
Well, because it was too late. He wasn't paying attention at the end of December. He wasn't paying attention at the end of December or January. And he wasn't paying attention in February either, Levi. That's the problem.
He ignored it for 2 straight months after getting told over and over and over again. Then he did this, and the Trump keeps touting his China ban because that's the only thing on record that he did.
Chantel.
Hello?
Who you voting for?
Biden, of course, because anyone is better than Trump.
Thank you, Chantel. Love
that
you.
Was simple and to the point. Anderson still voting for Bernie in the primary.
Yes, I am. He's still on the ballot, man. Come on, we gotta know what we're doing here, man.
Well, I think it's interesting as I've read about Bernie staying on the ballot because they want to actually be able to measure individuals that are lining up with Bernie. So that's important. Even though he's not going to be the Democratic candidate, they want to make sure, and that's why I played the Obama thing a second ago. They want to make sure that those Bernie voters are heard, according to what they say. But it's going to take. It's going to take a lot of local participation and participating in local politics to make sure some of this stuff gets across the line. Which is why voting in the Senate, and New York State is different, but voting for senators is going to be very key, and also protecting. Those House seats are going to be key. So it's going to be more than just voting for Bernie. You're going to have to focus down the ballot.
Well, they have to make sure they hear the Bernie supporters, because if they don't, some of the petty ass Bernie supporters will not come out and vote for Biden.
Sorry, Laura, go ahead.
No, I wanted to ask him as a Bernie supporter, would he end up voting for Biden at the end of the day?
Oh, good question.
Right.
That's a great question. D, you're voting, unfortunately, for Biden.
Yeah, this is a scarier version of 2016 all over again. A scarier version where Trump is the danger, and we see it now, but the Democrats are dismissive to the progressive wing of the party. And part of what you didn't play on that Obama clip where he even said, I couldn't run the country or even run my campaign the way I did back then.
Yeah, no,
so
that was a key part.
Yeah, he acknowledges that the Democrats screwed up. And if you were to ask him, he screwed up too. He left too much on the table. He let the Republicans play him left and right. Sorry.
But you know why? And it's once again, in 2010, he lost the House and the Senate because we didn't go back out and vote.
Yeah, but part of that's his fault too. Yeah, it
all falls on him. When you're the leader, it all falls on you ultimately. It ends up being your fault. But
yeah, and that's the problem. And then Biden is the embodiment. I'm sorry, he's Hillary Clinton with a penis. I'm sorry.
And you have a problem, and you think Hillary would have been a worse option than Trump?
No, but this is the issue, and people don't study history. Richard Nixon left in shambles, and 7 years later we got Ronald Reagan. And AOC said the same thing. Yeah, you vote for Biden, but he screws it up so badly, you get a more sophisticated version of Trump down the line.
Well,
that's the issue that a lot of progressives have.
No, hey, listen, that may take place, but remember after Reagan botched it, you ended up with a Clinton. He had his issues. You're gonna have issues with any candidate. After Clinton, you ended up with a Bush.
Hello?
Yeah, we're listening.
Hello? So what I'm saying is that's not the issue. It's like if there's a reason that the only president that won 4 terms was straight up a liberal, and that's FDR. So the people do want progressive policies.
They do.
But we have a media that's run by corporations.
That's right.
Always both sides things. We have politicians with no will that are paid off. Within both parties, we have racism in both parties.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, no, we need to really go all the way, or this thing is going to be over.
But that's a very good call, man. Thank you. That was a lot of good points.
He made some good points.
Mm-hmm. Particularly the idea of a sophisticated Trump 8 years later is a terrifying thought.
It could possibly happen if the Democrats ain't listening right now.
Because imagine if Trump was as big a racist and as dangerous as he is and as selfish and awful, but way more buttoned up and way more polished, and you weren't able to chop him down for being an idiot. He was actually pretty well together and a good politician. He just also was a monster. That's a terrifying thought.
Wanda, you called just to respond to our first caller, Levi.
Yes. Well, first and foremost, he's talking about this tax stimulus that was given to us and how this was such a great idea and how he's showing us about budgeting. We're already $1 trillion in debt, and this is just compiling to the debt that we already have. It's not that he went into a budget and was able to move things around. Like, we're still in trouble.
That's right.
But these people are getting this money because this is his way of trying to get people to go out and spend money or spend money online since we can't.
And by the way, to your point, Wanda, and I didn't want to get off this far in the weeds on it. It's a tax credit. It's not just money.
Right, that's going to be paid back.
You're going to pay this money back.
Most people should know this.
This is going to come out your ass one way or another.
Just hard.
By hook or crook, you will be giving that money back. So those people who think that the $600 extra that you're getting with unemployment is going to give you a end to just sit home and not work, no, that's not what's going to happen. What's going to happen is you're going to get comfortable with that extra money, and then when it's all said and done, you're going to be more messed up than you were from the beginning when you started getting these payments. And the mindset of people is, oh, yeah, he's doing this for us, but he's not doing anything for you. Best believe that this is for his own personal gain, because he wants it to look like, oh, I stepped in and I saved the Black community. No, you did not save the Black community. All you did was create more chaos within the Black community. And instead of people sitting around hiding under their beds, scared to death about what's going on, they needed to be trying to do some research to figure out, okay, this kind of happened before. What did we do to get ourselves out of it, as opposed to waiting around for somebody in a cape to come and save us?
Ebro in the morning with Laura Stiles and Rosenberg.
On Hot 97.
Wanda with the gems.
Dropping that real talk.
Oh, Wanda.
Yo, clear the line. It's get money time. It's get money time. Jamel, we didn't get to you. We know you're voting for Trump. You believe Biden's a wolf. And Laura, we see you. Levi is an idiot.
Biden's a wolf. Wow.
Biden's a wolf. Listen, I just want to be clear with the audience. I just want politicians that want to make sure they do their job and want to keep their job. You have somebody like Donald Trump who's not working for the people. He's working for his corporate buddies. He's working on his own behalf. And I know you're going to get politicians in there that are supported by lobbyists. They have special interest groups, et cetera, which is how you hold them accountable is in your local voting. I love AOC. I love how she holds people accountable. She gets up there and talks to ish. Sometimes I like Schumer. I think he's on too many payrolls, but sometimes I like him. And he's been in there too long, I'll be honest with you. I think some of those guys need to be turned over much more frequent.
Bro, I'm at a point now where is the person who's going to be president of the United States, do you prioritize American lives more than anything else?
Yes.
That's really where we're at right now. Do you prioritize your constituents living? Because it doesn't seem like the Trump administration prioritizes us living. That's not how they handled things for 2 months. Everything was being.
Well,
was
who's
scared.
us? Who's us?
The not 100 people he knows. You know, I'm talking about Americans, actual human beings, because he had opportunities to do things and just did not want to mess with the big money. And so here we are. How many Americans are dead as of today, Ebro? 25,000?
Yeah, 28,554 dead in America due
imagine
to COVID-19.
Imagine being president of the United States and still showing off and telling everyone how good you're doing and running a promo video that shows how hot you are when 28,000 Americans just died in a pandemic.
Well, how many presidents have been successful at prioritizing the people?
Well,
I'm talking about life or death, though, Shawnee.
I'm saying, has it ever happened?
Well, some presidents, some people, and we're going to get to the guru and get money. Some people think you've prioritized American people when you've prioritized the economy.
Right. Now that's perspective.
And that's perspective. It depends on where you are in that. Some people are going to say you prioritize the American people when you prioritize specifically the working middle class and people trying to get into the middle class.
But we're sort of talking around it. I'm talking about literally in a moment where it's life or death.
I understand what you're saying, Rosenberg, but that's some people aren't willing to allow themselves to be confined by this moment in time.
Sorry, this is the only moment in time. No, I'm serious. There is nothing else but right now. This is, if you had a loved one who died, this is the only thing that matters right now. And Shawnee, I would say this, there have been presidents before who have been downright close to evil. Everything they did was about getting rich and keeping rich white people rich. However, if it came down to, wait, Mr. President, people are going to just be dying by the thousand, they would go, oh man, I got to put my plans to stay rich on hiatus for like a month. Let me make sure people don't die in record numbers.
Well, we have Republican governors right now that said, well, we might have to sacrifice some lives to keep this economy open. They have said it. What are we talking about?
It's a low bar.
Yeah. Just saying, who
but
has
I'll
successfully
throw this in
done
the
it.
soup, and we got to move on. I know everybody's passionate. We're going to be covering this a lot. Presidents have sent our young people to die in tens of thousands in wars. Presidents have allowed the black community to die in thousands or be put in jail by the hundreds of thousands
Flint,
for their own
Michigan's water
financial
good yet?
gain. Say again?
Flint, Michigan's water good yet?
Well, that was a governor call.
Okay.
That was a governor call. And everybody's learning right now
know,
how much
Shawnee.
power a governor of a state actually has. And how it's against the law for the federal government to swoop down and do their bidding on the state level. You know what I'm saying? So we're learning. Everybody's learning. It's Get Money time right after the Guru. Let's go. Laura the Guru right now on Hot 97.
Hey, yo, it's time for the Guru, Shawnee Culture and Rosenberg. And Laura, you are a beautiful queen. Ebro, don't ever play yourself. You're not a guru.
We are the Guru, Laura@gmail.com. Write it down, guys. You need some guru problems to help you out. The Guru, Laura@gmail.com is the email. Dear Gurus, my name is Fabiana. I'm 30 years old and I've been with my boyfriend since 31. So check it out. Everything has changed because we're both on lockdown during Corona, just like everybody else. So check this out. I recently saw that ex-boyfriend has been hitting up my girl on Facebook. She's been answering, but every time he tries to get inappropriate, she curbs him. So I've never seen anything completely inappropriate, but I just think her even responding is inappropriate. Am I bugging out because I have cabin fever and right now I'm just doing things that I would never do before? Or should I have a reason to be upset? What do you guys think?
She's not a good friend for this.
I would go with A, you're bugging out because you have cabin fever. Good night.
Shawnee, boyfriend and girlfriend, and he's been noticing that she's been answering an ex on Facebook. But anytime the ex gets inappropriate, she doesn't feed into it. But he's just mad that she's answering, period.
Right.
I think he certainly has the right to talk about, like, hey, if this guy's going to continue to be inappropriate with you, why are you still maintaining the conversation?
And why are you doing it on Facebook where everybody can see it?
Oh, no, it could be in messages, right?
Yeah, it's.
Well,
I'm
he said
assuming
he
his
sees.
messages.
He's seeing it.
Well, he's snooping, bro. He's not supposed to be snooping. He's snooping on the computer.
Yeah, I mean, she's valid in feeling offended that there's communication with the ex. Most people are insecure. You had a real relationship with the dude. Y'all had intimacy. Now you're communicating again. Have a conversation. Look, we always promote a clean conversation.
Man, y'all boring, man.
What you mean?
Check this out, man.
Yo, burn it down, man.
Burn it down.
Burn it down.
You're
Just
gonna
go
have to
and see
say,
what's
look,
going
the
on.
messages were open. I saw what I saw.
Man.
Why you
talking
So you're talking to your ex boo.
And just so
even
you
though
know,
I saw you didn't do anything wrong, I still don't think you should be going back and forth. It doesn't make me comfortable. Okay.
just so you know,
clean.
Yeah, she's keeping that in her back pocket. Just so you know.
Oh, that's your
anytime
emergency.
is go. Anytime she wants to go, it's go. That's real.
Y'all want real life and not go.
And your man feeling comfortable to talk slick?
Yeah, come
Like
on, because
about
he knows.
Like he
he
about
knows
to go
it's a
after the
go,
poo
man.
nah nah?
He knows it's a green light. As soon as she says go, He's ready.
Talk
She's
to him.
ready.
We
I
not
mean-
gurus, so you don't have to listen to us. But I'm
Right.
just saying,
Yeah.
though.
Exactly.
That's non-guru talk.
Say
Non-guru
something.
talk is step to him. Step to
No,
him.
I think you should communicate and say how you feel. Just say,
Kill
"Look, I
him.
saw
Take
the
it a step
message."
further. Kill him.
Well, no murder.
It just got
The
crazy.
gurus do not condone murder.
Oh,
But be
sorry.
honest
I just thought
and
we were
let 'em know
going
how you
completely
feel.
loose. My bad.
Oh
you know,
God,
it's
so says the
quarantine.
guru.
What did you say?
You guys are a mess.
It happens, man, when we get in those political talks, man. Everybody gets fed up and emotional,
Yeah.
man.
Don't be quiet. Speak on it.
You know what I mean?
Speak on it, God.
Let's get money time. Get money time. Caller number 9.
Hello.
Hi, 97. Hello.
Hello. How are you, Ebro?
Hello.
Yo, man. How are
Yo,
you?
man. Yo, man. What's your name, man?
My name's Dave.
Steve, you are caller number
Dave.
9.
Wow.
Wait, what is it? Dave. Oh, Dave. That's a great show on Hulu, by the way.
I love it.
Dave, you're caller number 9. You get
Give it on the way,
Dave.
Dave.
$500 for you,
Yo.
Dave.
How is?
Hey, Laura. How you doing?
Uh-oh. You trying to holler?
Oh,
Laura?
good. Congratulations, Dave.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Hey, Dave. How's COVID-19 treating your bank account right now? Job okay? Everybody okay?
It's tough, man. I mean, I've been lucky that I still have my job. So I'm going to donate half of this to the local hospital near me because they're working so hard and they deserve it.
What town are you in, man? Let's shout
Oh,
them out.
that's amazing.
In Flushing.
Over in
Oh,
Queens,
yeah,
yeah,
wow.
man.
Yeah.
Working very hard, man. Thank
That's
you very
good, man.
much, Dave.
Thank you, Dave.
Thanget you.
All right, take care, man. We'll get your information on the way. Flashing lights, Laura Styles.
Netflix just dropped the trailer for the Cyntoia Brown documentary. So I'll give you some details on this coming up. Flashing lights.
Cast 1, let's go, fams. High of 50, mostly clear, a little bit of clouds. Shout out to Puerto Rican Rick, who just changed his background on the video.
Yeah, Puerto Rican Rick.
AKA DJ John.
You're gonna need a new
I'm right
IG.
here.
Yo, you guys know how disrespectful it is to just call him Puerto Rican Rick, right? When he's not Puerto Rican.
I think it's fire though.
Why?
Shut up, man.
Because it's just a completely new character now.
Yeah, but he's not Puerto Rican. Maybe he's offended by it. Maybe you should ask him.
I don't think
about
he's
Rick.
offended. But ask Rick or John.
He hasn't said a word, so I think
He never says a word. That's how this whole thing started.
Well,
You never let me talk.
He doesn't pot his mic up. He can't say a
he's
word.
so
Yo, John.
What, man? You never let me talk. You always call my mic off, man. Or you hang me up.
All right,
Treat me
we're
like-
letting you talk right now. Hopefully,
You always
this
treat me like a
goes well.
stepchild.
Okay, all right.
I
How
like
do you
it.
feel about Puerto Rican Rick?
I love Puerto Ricans. I know a guy named Rick, but don't call me either one.
Oh,
Are you offended though?
Not offended.
Oh, okay. Well, then we'll call you Puerto Rican
No,
Rick. That was easy enough.
no.
You fell right into it.
Puerto Rican Rick.
If you ain't offended, you Puerto Rican Rick.
I'm offended. No, I changed my mind. I'm offended.
Oh no, now his mic's off and he's trying to talk.
We got what we needed from you, Puerto Rican Rick.
You gonna be like, yo, they got a new character on the show? Wow.
Yo, I got to meet this Puerto Rican Rick.
Not Puerto Rican. man.
997 Ebro in the morning.
She used to work at King
Yo,
of
y'all
Diamonds on a
disrespectful,
Monday.
man.
Hey, yo, Puerto Rican Rick. Here come Cass with the bang bang. Yo, Pete, we still live? Oh,
We're on YouTube.
YouTube, what up? Wagwan with yourself. Oh, it's just more Trini, right? What's he seeing? What's he seeing?
Let's see who's on YouTube.
I mean, what's he seeing?
That
y'all?
conversation
Good afternoon
frustrated
from
me.
South Africa.
It frustrated you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But you know, I mean, the
I didn't
political
understand what you were
conversation-
saying because you
Me?
were like, but which one's successfully done that? I don't know what you mean.
Under the concept of like prioritizing a president who
talking
has
about.
successfully prioritized the people.
But I'm just talking,
You're talking about right now.
But
Shawnee,
I
no
only
president
mean-
will ever be perfect. Everyone's corrupt.
True.
At the end of the day, we're always picking the lesser of two evils.
But
So-
I'm just saying but my only point is this. Not that they're and even
still
Ebro's
voting, though.
example, even Ebro's example of war, not the same. Because this is
My
to
voice
not
doesn't match my
prioritize the
face.
people
Shut
when
up,
there's
Pete.
an outside evil happening that's killing the people.
Right.
And he's like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And it's affecting so many different kinds of people to
Pete,
not
your headline's
care
killing
Right.
yourself.
makes it unique. Like, it's unlike anything else. It's not even Flint, right? Where it's like a specific thing that a president's ignoring potentially, or a war where they can do it under the guise of another game. This is just
a specific time that people should come first.
It's just, and if you even care how people think of you, even if you don't really care, you'd have to pretend to care.
Because you should pretend to care.
You have to. How could you not?
You gotta care.
But he doesn't.
Right.
Shout out to Vicky from Scotland.
Vicky from Scotland. But I'm saying, like, I guess I was speaking more general and you were speaking more specific. I'm saying, generally speaking, what president has been successful at making the people come first? You know, I don't know. Foreign affairs. So I was throwing it on a
maybe FDR, you know, who did tons of things specifically for the people. But you're right.
And that sucks, you know. And there was something Ebro said too, is like, I want a president who, you know, wants to keep their job.
Louis actually Puerto Rican, right?
The part of the problem is once you get into these politics and you want to keep your job, then you got to play the game. If you want to quote unquote keep your job, you know what I'm saying? It's almost Trump blatantly looking at Cuomo like, you want to keep your job.
Thank you, Glock.
But people, there's comments. Ronald wrote, Biden and Trump both scare me. I hate when people say that. They're false equivalency. And Biden scares you? In what way? And what is that scary compared to what's happening right now? People are dying. Over 10,000 people have died in New York alone. What do you mean scary? What could be scarier?
Right. Where's this guy from?
People are scared about Biden's interests. Okay, well, maybe Biden's interests aren't perfect. And maybe he's a middle of the road Democrat where nothing's going to change. I feel you 100%. Is that as scary as death in the streets?
Well, I mean, have you lived through death in the streets?
This is my first time.
Well, so that's why some people ain't necessarily
they ain't lived through this.
Some people have lived through worse.
Shout out to Robin and
not in America. I don't know about America.
You're talking about in the hood.
In Harlem.
They've lived through.
You know what the crack era looked like in Harlem? We're gonna interview Coco.
What?
You ain't gonna get up to 600 deaths a day.
Shit, they was in Harlem. At a certain point, you can go back and look. It was like 25 overdoses, murders, just in Harlem.
And that's a nightmare. And that's still 1/30th.
Yeah.
Well, no.
You're talking specific households. Some of them might not even know anybody who has been affected by COVID, but have lived through like personal friends, family members, and everybody.
Well, a survey said the other day that 1 in 4 Black Americans know someone well who has been in the hospital because of COVID.
Yeah, well, I can see that. Not necessarily.
That's the thing. So the same people you're talking about, the same people talking about the hood, are also the most affected here.
Right, but they were also the most affected before from diabetes, and they had been in the hospital for that, or they had been in the hospital for fucking heart disease or whatever. You should just ask how many Black Americans have known somebody very well that's been in the hospital in the last year.
That's a fact.
Look, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that I'm just speaking to
I hear you.
The other side of how numb some people are from, you know what I'm saying?
My main point is everything you said is valid about the horrible things that have happened. But when it's something like this, where
this is literally,
it's so easy
could have
to be a
been
good guy.
slowed down. This is literally, it could have been slowed down if the leadership actually listened to science.
He freaked out and screamed on the person who even first came out and said anything about it publicly from the administration.
Shawnee's Cass is getting your attention.
Here we go.
So yeah, no, I agree with the sentiment.
It's frustrating.
That Biden is the way to go. Listen, if for anything, just to have somebody who holds themselves in high regard and has class. And is smart enough to partner with and put people around them that know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. That's all. Just for that.
How about someone who could, while Americans are dying by the thousands,
just have class and tact.
How about empathy? Tiny bit of empathy for your people that are dying. Oh, but we're not his people. That's the problem.
The bar's low, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're looking for a perfect presidential candidate, you're going to be looking for the rest of your life. I've been voting since 1994.
Ain't been
and you're never going to get one. You want somebody who at least believes in the potential of the marketing of America, where you have a shot at getting into the middle class and making some money to put in your savings and retire. You have somebody who wants to allow, different ideas at the table, stays away from, aligning themselves with extremists and white supremacy.
I sound like Bernie.
So vote for Bernie. He ain't gonna be the Democratic nominee, but you put your vote out there so they can see you. Let's get to it. Flashing lights, Laura Stiles.
Netflix just dropped the trailer for Murder to Mercy, the Cyntoia Brown story. Now, if you guys remember, Cyntoia Brown spent 15 years in prison and was granted clemency by the Tennessee governor. So at 16 years old, she was beaten, raped, pimped out by a man she killed, which got her life in prison, even though she was so young, where she was abused. She argued that it was self-defense, but
now, did she didn't kill her, the guy who was sex trafficking her, did she? I thought she killed somebody that was the John.
Yes.
The guy who was paying, and she thought she was about to be murdered.
Right.
And so it was self-defense.
Right. So, she got her story went viral, and celebrities like Rihanna, T.I., LeBron James all pushed, to get her story out. And now Netflix is telling her story. So she's out now. I think I'm not sure if she put out a book or
she did put out a book.
Yeah, she
did.
Started
doing the media rounds on that.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of Netflix, very different, but Laura put me on to watching LA Originals. It's a really dope
cartoon.
It's a really dope.
Estevan.
It's a really dope hip hop story that I'm guessing most people will not know at all. And it's worth watching. It's a really good watch.
They have amazing footage, right?
It's dope.
Well, yeah, like I didn't realize, and I'm glad you didn't tell me, Laura. That's what made it fun for me, is that I didn't realize, that it's kind of a Soul Assassins movie as well. So
right.
It has I don't even want to ruin it for people, like the different
It's very
connections.
hip hop. Why don't you leave it like that?
Yeah, it's just super hip hop. It's not, if you're like, well, I'm not into graffiti or tattooing necessarily or photography. It's just a hip hop story. It's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Also, a Pop Smoke documentary is in the works.
Nice.
Now, not only is his album in the works, but Stephen Victor, who served as Pop Smoke and Pusha T's manager, revealed that he's been working on a documentary to make sure that everybody knows the Pop Smoke story, because he was taken from us so quickly. So he said he's been working super hard on both of them. So I think that's going to be super special when it comes out. So many people loved him, and he gave us amazing music, and he was so young. That's your Flash and Lights report. The time is 8:50. Alternate side parking rules are suspended. And let me see. High 49 degrees today, guys.
I finally watched the video clip of Bhad Bhabie.
Oh God, why'd you?
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did she make any salient points?
What are you talking about? All I thought the whole time was, I'm glad I said every negative thing I said about that little person.
Yeah, you kind of looked right after that.
I'm glad I said everything, and I'm glad every person out there that was like, yo, why is she acting like that? What is wrong with her? Who's co-signing this behavior? Why y'all streaming this music? Proud of everybody that saw what it was from the beginning. Now the question is, what are y'all gonna do with Tekashi 6ix9ine?
These kids don't care about street code. They don't care that he's a snitch. They don't care. They're still gonna get his music when he drops his albums. They can't wait for him to go back on Instagram.
Should we be playing his music if he drops a joint that it's a bop?
What do you view as the worst thing? Like, because with Bhad Bhabie, it's very easy to say, like, oh, she doesn't have any real respect for Black culture. She's using it to gain herself. What can you say is Tekashi's, you know what I'm saying, the real negative that Tekashi brings besides quote unquote street code?
I just felt like he propagated a lifestyle that wasn't his, that was just a dangerous lifestyle.
Right, and makes that lifestyle seem appealing in spite of the fact that he's not really living it, but other people could and get killed because of it.
Or other people could perpetuate it falsely, like has been happening.
Yes.
And people continue to get hurt by it. And
Right.
I've always had a problem with that. I never had a problem per se with, I just didn't like his music and didn't think he was a good rapper. I had most of my problems knowing that he was a phony from the beginning. Then my other problems were mostly based on watching DJs and people in New York City just be okay with it because it was popping. Like, they ain't care at all. And then the industry being like, yo, man, you hating on New York City like that? I was like, what? Y'all okay with this? So it'll be interesting. And we'll watch it play out here on Ebro in the morning.
Wake their ass up. Ebro in the morning with Laura Stiles and Rosenberg. Right here. Hot 97. The #1 station for hip hop.
Skip the trip. New York City is
22 million Americans filed for unemployment last month. Cast one? Oh. No, you got to take the. Yeah.
Okay, cool. You there?
Cast one, you good?
I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick. I'll be back.
20.
Were you telling us or YouTube? There she goes.
Hey, YouTube, Laura went to the bathroom.
Laura went to the bathroom,
Went to the
everyone.
bathroom. Damn.
Van Jiggy Jones.
We're doing Van Jones now?
Van Jones, yeah, he's about to hop on.
That's all we have, right?
Yep. Yeah. YouTube, peace to the gods.
Peace, YouTube.
Hasta luego.
Peace to the earths.